Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors. Today we're starting loop number 3 of the game. And I will say, like, right out the bat, it doesn't matter like which way you take after the cabin, like whether it's door 4 or door 5, we're still going to end up in the same spot in picking door 3 for the first time today. So, yeah, just to give you a primer of what was going on with the story thus far, or from the beginning. Junpei woke up in a weird little cabin. A window broke. Water started coming in. It's flooding. Oh no! But in the process of trying to escape from the room, he remembers he was attacked by a mysterious man who knocked him out. And, you know, just brought him here. Well, I mean, he was not conscious when he was brought here, but all he remembers is like he, was knocked out and then woke up here. So, yeah, Junpei manages to escape out the room, and he meets with 8 other people who are also on the ship. Yeah, it's a ship. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. I just got done recording and realized, oh wait, I forgot to do this intro. So yeah, they meet, they all find out what's going on. Junpei runs into a childhood friend in Akane. They give each other code names. When they get to this 9th man, they're like, what's your name? But he's kind of, off kilter. So he tries to kidnap this one girl and gets them all to help him open up this one door. He runs through said door by himself, blows up in the process, and that's when the blind guy, who is known as Snake now, lets everybody know that he got like a little message from Zero, the guy who was keeping them all on the ship, about the fact that they're playing the nonary game where, they have to just work together to get through doors based on digital routes and whatnot, and tied to bracelets that are on their arms. If they break the rules of the game, the bracelets will cause a bomb that's inside them to explode, and you can't have that now, can you? So, after that, they decide that they're going to break into 2 teams to get through door 4 and door 5. For the sake of this loop, where it doesn't matter which way you take to get to door 3. But yeah, for the sake of this loop, I went through door 5. So yeah, by going through that, we team up with... Oh my god, I've forgotten. No, it was Snake and 7. 7 plus 2 is 9 plus 1 is 4. Wait. 7 plus 2 is 9 plus Junpei is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. Yep, okay, I had to do the math myself. I'm also not looking at the footage I fast forwarded through because lazy. I'm awful. So yeah, they go through that door. That's when Junpei learns that Snake is just, like he has really good, just everything. Like he has heightened hearing. He can play the freaking piano. He can do this and that. He could probably cure cancer if given enough time. And he learns that 7 has amnesia. Ooh, important things to keep track of. So yeah, they managed to get out of the first class cabin and the casino. They get keys. Everybody converges, and they see like these 3 new doors in this hospital room. Door 3, door 7, and door 8. However, the reds, the things to read their bracelets to let them get through the door, are missing their insides. So everybody splits apart to search for them. When they get back, they discover that Snake is gone. What happened to him? We just don't know. Well, with the other two loops, we kind of already know. And today, I mean, since it's the only door left, we kind of know what we're going to see when we go there. But at this point in the story, they then try to split up to search for Snake. Ace is just doing his own thing, like checking these rooms, and he's acting a little weird. Lotus, she's checking the casino, and she pitches an idea to June, aka Akane, and Junpei, that maybe they should work together to escape out of there by themselves. This, because ultimately, to escape, you got to go through door 9. And she was like, oh, well, we can work with 7 and we can all get out on our own and blah, blah, blah. Shrewd. And Santa was also doing his own investigation, getting suspicious about other people. And Clover was just, pretty sad because her brother has gone missing. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So, yeah, they all converge back together and they decide, well, like, we can't really wait for Snake to show back up, so we need to go through these doors. So we need to split into teams to figure out how to do it. But oh no, someone would be left behind. This is before, like, it gets implanted in their brains that every time we split up, we end up back together. But they still think they're going to have to leave someone behind. So they're trying to decide who to leave behind, and Ace just volunteers. June is like, no, you can't do that. But he had already sort of used this drug to put himself to sleep. And now we decide which door we're going to go through. And, I mean, we've already been through door 7. And we've been through door 8. So that only leaves one more. So, yeah. That's it for this long, rambly, winding intro. I will see you at door 3. Alright, time to go through the final door that we've yet to go through. Door 3. I want to go through door number 3. No, you can't. Huh? Why? Because it's impossible. If we split ourselves into 3 and 3, then we give up on going through door 3. Why? The bracelet numbers for the 6 of us are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 2 combinations that can go through door 3 with 3 people. 3, 4, 5, or 6, 7, 8. That's it. Of course, 2 teams can't go through the same door. I see. That means one team would get left behind. That's right. It doesn't happen if we go through door 7 or 8. No, they're fine. We've got 3 options. Santa began to explain. Plan A. Go through door 7 with 3, 5, 8. And go through door 8 with 4, 6, 7. Plan B. Go through 7 with 4, 5, 7. And go through door 8 with 3, 6, 8. Plan C. Go through door 7 with 3, 6, 7. And go through 8 with 4, 5, 8. Those are the only 3 options. That's it. At least if we want to get all 6 of us out of here. That was when Junpei realized. Plan A divides into 2 teams. 3, 5, 8 and 4, 6, 7. Plan B divides into 2 teams. 4, 5, 7 and 3, 6, 8. Plan C divides into 2 teams. 3, 6, 7 and 4, 5, 8. There was one thing they all had in common. In every single combination, 5 and 6 were never on the same team. In other words, if all 6 people were to move forward, Junpei and June would be separated. June and Junpei had been friends when they were kids. He trusted her more than anyone else on the ship. If he chose 7 or 8, he'd be taken away from her. Was that something he was prepared to do? Anyway, that's the deal, so think it over. You got 2 choices, 7 or 8. Okay. Sorry if there were vibrations on the mic. Yeah, we seem to be good now. Alright. You can't choose 3. If you choose 3, you're going to be leaving 3 people behind to die. So what are you going to do? 7 or 8. Time to choose. Junpei thought hard. After thinking it over, his conclusion was... We're going through door 3, dang it. Sorry, Santa, but I still want to go through door 3. What? That's nuts. You've got to be crazy. Why the hell are you so obsessed with that door? I'm just... Junpei paused. He swallowed the words he'd been about to say. I'm just curious about door 3, that's all. It doesn't explain shit. I've got a reason. I'd be happy to explain it to you if you'll just come with me. With that, he began walking toward the door. Their curiosity likely getting the better of them, the others followed. A few of them looked a little suspicious, but Junpei told himself that wouldn't matter. He kept walking and kept silent. Eventually they arrived at the number 3 door. Junpei stopped. I'm curious about the red. 7, would you mind authenticating for me? Huh? Why? Please, just do it. He stared at Junpei for a moment, then grunted and laid his palm heavily on the scanner. Happy? Yeah, thanks. The number 7 had been entered into the red. Next is June. Please touch the red just like 7 did. Junpei, what are you trying to figure out? Junpei thought about his answer for a moment. I think I might have found another way out. Huh? What? Really? Oh, really? That got them excited, just as Junpei had intended. Now, please, June. Okay. 7 plus 6 equals 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. With those 2 numbers in the red, Junpei had what he wanted. He casually placed his own hand on the scanner and the 3rd asterisk blinked on. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Alright. The only people who haven't authenticated now are Santa, Clover, and Lotus. So, what's your point? You don't get it? Think about it. What's the sum of your number and Clover's? 12. And what's the digital root of that? 3. Which is Santa's number. By the way, Lotus, what's the number that's currently in the red? 7 plus 6 plus 5 equals 18. It would be 9, right? Yes. And what will the digital root be if you add 3 to that? 3. The door's number. There you go. Hey, wait a minute! What the hell are you up to? I'm not up to anything. I'm just waiting. Waiting for what? I'm waiting for the balance to shift. Santa. Or Lotus and Clover. Once one of you moves, the others won't have a choice. So I'm waiting. Junpei laid his hand almost casually on the lever. You son of a bitch! You tricked us! Then all that stuff you were going on about is all bullshit. Bullshit? I don't think so. Didn't I tell you I'd figured out another way to get out of here? This is it. Why the hell would you do something like this? Junpei glanced at June. Junpei? You did this just so you could go through the same door as June? That's it! Santa was furious. His face was red and flecks of spit flew from his lips as he spoke. Junpei closed his eyes calmly and then opened them again. So, who's it going to be? Santa? Or Lotus and Clover? Shit. We're going. Clover. Lotus leapt forward. She grabbed Clover by the sleeve and ran for Junpei and the door. Caught by surprise, Santa froze for a moment, then shot forward like a bullet from a gun. Lotus had a head start, but Santa had the advantage in size and speed. Almost immediately, he passed Lotus and Clover. No! Wait! Santa did not hesitate. Rrrr! He slammed his hand down on the red. This is insane. This isn't right. He stared at Junpei, his chest heaving. Yes, well, you may be right. Junpei's voice was cold, but not without effort. He turned to the red and pulled the lever. With the sound of metal on metal, the door opened. It would only remain so for 9 seconds. There was no time to think. Go! Junpei and his 3 reluctant companions jumped through the door's gaping mouth, one after another. No sooner did they enter than an all-too-familiar noise sounded from their left wrists. The detonators had activated. Junpei looked back only once and saw Lotus and Clover on the other side of the closing door. They stood still, stopped where they had been when Santa reached the red. The defeat and desperation on their faces tore at Junpei's heart. Then the door closed, and they were gone. You son of a bitch, Junpei! This isn't fair! Santa rounded on Junpei, lightning crackling in his eyes and his knuckles white. Do you realize what you just did? You leave them out there and they can't... Shut it! That's enough! It hadn't been Junpei that spoke, but 7. We gotta find the dead, or none of this is gonna matter. The clock was ticking. The dead was their only chance at survival. Unless they could find it and deactivate their detonators, the 4 of them would be... We got less than a minute left. No time for screwing around. Get moving! They scattered and began to scour the room. The deactivation device was nowhere to be found. Corridors stretched out in 3 directions, but everyone was blocked off by a wall of metal. There was only one way out. One other door. There! 7 ran for the door, a rusty iron thing. His large hands grabbed hold of the handle and pulled. The room inside was pitch black. They could see nothing beyond the small patch of light that spilled through the doorway. Junpei stuck his head through the door and looked around the room. Almost immediately, he spotted the blinking red light on the right wall. I found it! The dead's right over here! He stepped into the room and nearly fell down. The floor was slippery. What? He stopped and glanced down at his feet. What was... Hey, what the hell are you doing? Get over there! Junpei felt 7's heavy hand against his back and stumbled across the room. The other 3 piled in behind him. They all felt immediately that something was wrong. Nothing that could be easily identified, only a sense that something terrible shared the room with them. But there was no time to say so. Quick! Get to the dead! They all started running. In the dark, it was hard to tell where the wall was. All they could see was the tiny red light blinking at them over and over and over. Then finally, suddenly, they were there. In quick succession, they all slammed their hands against the scanner panel. Seven leaned against the wall, gulping air. As his breathing began to return to normal, he glanced at his left wrist and grunted. It stopped. It stopped. Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Junpei could hear him laughing in the dark, but could barely make out the larger man's face. What the... Hi! The sound of retching came from Santa's direction. What the hell is this smell? This is vile. I'm gonna puke. So desperate had they been in their race to the dead that no one had noticed the horrible smell that pervaded the room. It was a terrible, nauseating stench, like burnt and rotten meat. Adrenaline had drowned it out, but now it rolled over Junpei in waves, forcing itself into his nose with every breath he took. He felt his stomach clench and bile rise up in his throat. Let's get the lights on first. There's a switch over here. The The light that spilled in from the door barely illuminated a small switch plate next to the door. Slowly, with the toll of the last few minutes apparent in his gait, Seven walked toward it. He stopped as he got close and extended his fingers toward the switch. There was a soft click as the lights came on. It had scarcely faded when another noise pierced the air. A scream. Yeah! Junpei's breath stopped in his throat. His heart ceased to beat. Time froze. His mind scrambled to make sense of what he saw before him. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood. Chunks of flesh torn from the body sat in the blood like tiny islands in a great red sea. A vast, ragged hole had been torn in the torso. What remained of his intestines spilled out of it like fresh spaghetti. Arms weak. Smaller chunks of meat had splattered against the wall and become stuck there as they dried. Globules of yellowish fat had left trails like tiny slugs as gravity pulled them down the wall, even as they dried to it. Looks like an explosion. Seven's voice was low and strained. Just like the ninth man. The detonator in his bracelet set off the bomb in his gut. It looked as though the explosion had been quite powerful. His legs were both bent in an odd, unnatural way, and his left arm had split open, exposing the painfully white bone of his ulna. His bracelet lay next to him. It seemed to have hit the wall hard enough to have shattered the display, which lay on the ground in pieces. Half of his head had simply collapsed. The blood coating almost made it look like raw pizza dough covered in tomato sauce. His clothes, too, were covered in blood. The burgundy tie, the white shirt, the jacket with the yellow piping, and the gray slacks. They were all familiar to Junpei. Is that... Snake? Santa's voice wavered as he spoke, his mouth dry. Oh my god. Finally Junpei spoke. Why did this happen? No! Suddenly June was screaming, her voice broken. It was an eerie scream, full of insanity and not entirely human. No! 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 She shook her head violently and grabbed fistfuls of her own hair. Junpei could hear the sound of her hair tearing. No! Stop it, June! He grabbed for her wrist, but as he did, June leapt up and ran toward the exit. Please, get me out of here! You have to let me out of here! She screamed at the door and her fist slammed against it with a hollow sound. Junpei could see drops of blood on her knuckles. Why are you doing these horrible things to us? What did we do to deserve this? She screamed again, a desperate, mindless cry. Her fist flailed against the door. Get me out of here! Please! Please, just let me out! Junpei couldn't watch anymore. He ran to June and wrapped his arms around her, pulling the screaming girl away from the door. No! Get off of me! Let me go! Let me go! She scrambled for a moment, her legs skittering across the floor, but her resistance didn't last long. As suddenly as her outburst had begun, it was over. The manic energy disappeared and her body went limp in Junpei's arms. June collapsed toward the floor and Junpei knelt down with her. He felt drops of something warm and wet. Was she crying? I mean, she only just saw, the corpse of someone she just met and kind of had a breakdown. So, yeah, I think crying would be a normal reaction, Junpei. A moment later, she began to sob. Her shoulders shook and great hot tears rolled down her face like rain. We're gonna be fine. It's gonna be alright, June. It's going to be okay, Canny. Her name was a whisper. I'll be here with you, okay? She nodded once. Thank you. Thank you so much, Junpei. Her trembling voice pulled at Junpei's heart. He stroked her hair gently. His face was so close to her. The scent of her hair was nostalgic. Do you feel better? Yes, but I'd like to stay here. For a little while at least. Junpei's body is so warm. Several minutes passed before June's tears had dried. Junpei stood up. He bent down, put his arms under June's, and helped her to her feet. They didn't speak. Neither did Seven or Santa. A person was dead. They had died in that room in a terrible way. Junpei knew there was no way he could make himself forget that. There was no way any of them could forget it, but mourning would do no good. They spread out to search the room, but each felt as if their heart was made of lead. Alright. Let's get out of here. Gotta seek a way out. Those letters written in blood. LLR. Do you think that might be some sort of dying message from Snake? No, that's impossible. You saw the body. You aren't doing anything after something like that happens to you. Then this... The way the blood's dried tells you it's real old. Whoever's blood this is, it ain't Snake's. You're saying this blood was put here a long time ago? Yeah. LLR. That's where we came in. Guess it's not locked, but there ain't really any point. All that's out there is the numbered door. Can't go back through the numbered door even if we wanted to. Let's see if anything happens when I turn you. Nope, nothing. Not even a drop. Is the pipe clogged? Or did someone forget to pay the water bill? A wooden box. There's something in here. Luminol. Oh, snap. We Phoenix right now. What the hell is this thing? Some kind of spray bottle? There's something written on it. Lumen. Carry anything else. Label's all faded. Let me see that. He just grabbed it from him. That wasn't very nice. Oh, this is luminol. You know, forensics guys use it at crime scenes. Oh yeah, that stuff that glows blue when you spray it on blood. Even if the blood's been wiped off, it'll still glow. Alright, yeah, we'll take some toilet paper. It's toilet paper with some kind of red symbols on it. Think maybe that's a... Okay, Seven! A Scytale cipher. Scytale cipher? Skytail? Skitale? Skitali? What the hell is that? You wrap a piece of paper around a stick and then write several sentences on it, so that the whole paper is filled up. You unwrap the paper, and you can't tell what the original message was, right? That's how it works, more or less. Then to decipher it, you gotta have a stick that's the same diameter as the original one. Same diameter as the original one, huh? Yeah. Then you just wrap the paper around that stick and you can read the code. Alright, Seven. He knows his shit. Junpei reached for the broom, and as he grabbed it, he heard a soft voice from behind him. It was June. The rabbit, Hutch. Huh? He turned around. June still looked sadly pale, but there was a smile on her face. Oh, you just reminded me of it. The rabbit, Hutch, I mean. How'd I remind you of something like that? Junpei and the broom. You were always playing around with the broom in front of the rabbit, Hutch. I was? Don't you remember? Junpei stared at the broom in his hand. You mean you don't remember that summer either? She looked very sad. He shook his head. Of course I remember. How could I forget something like that? It was terrible. They were in the 6th grade. Junpei and June had been assigned to take care of the classroom pets, the rabbits. Their chief duty was to clean the hutches every morning. On the final day of school before summer vacation began, Junpei overslept. He rushed to school and found June standing in front of the rabbit hutches. No sooner had Junpei arrived than June began to cry. He had no idea why until he looked behind her into the rabbit hutch. The first thing he saw was blood. The hutch was filled with the dead bodies of the rabbits. Even after their teachers and friends came to see what the commotion was, June couldn't stop crying. I just kept crying and crying until you came over. You held my hand and you looked very serious and you said, "Don't cry, I'm gonna catch the person who did this." After you told me that, I finally stopped crying. Well, the real fun started after you quit crying. You told me you were going to catch the killer together, or we were going to catch the killer together. June smiled, and a little of the flush of life returned to her cheeks. That's a weird thing to smile about, like, hey, we're going to find whoever slaughtered these rabbits. Yeah, nostalgia. Then we decided that we'd ambush them. Yeah, I remember. Wait a minute. Okay, just had to attend to something. The school also kept roosters and guinea pigs. Junpei and June had decided the murderer would likely return to finish off the rest of the animals. They would ambush the killer at night. Junpei and June hid behind the hutch at dusk and waited. It was a warm summer night. The quiet sound of crickets whispered through the air. As the sun went down, the stars began to wink at them from the sky. And June's, Akane Kuroshiki's face. That night was something Junpei knew he would never forget as long as he lived. But the murderer never showed up. We waited for them all summer vacation and they never showed up. Yeah, but the animals didn't get attacked either. I think all that work amounted to something, you know? He'd felt the same way, but it was good to hear her say it. Although, you know, if you think about it, we're probably taking on a lot more than we could handle. What do you mean? She looked up at him, confused. Well, come on. We were just kids. If whoever killed the rabbits had actually showed up, they probably would have had a knife or something. I mean, you must have been pretty worried, right? I wasn't worried. Because you were there with me. She blushed furiously. You know, no one else wanted to take care of the animals. Clearly embarrassed, she tried desperately to change the subject. I was the only one who asked to do it at first. Yeah, boys don't really want to bother with taking care of animals, you know? Well, yeah, but you asked to do it after I did, didn't you? It wasn't the rabbits, they were going to make me do something else. You know how that school was. I figured it'd be better if I was working with somebody who wasn't too much of a loudmouth, right? Somebody who wasn't going to tell me if I felt like blowing it off. Really? That's why you volunteered? Yeah, it is. He nodded quickly and much too earnestly and then quickly looked away at something very important. That hadn't been the reason, of course. He had asked to take care of the rabbits so that he could be near June. But it had been so long ago he couldn't bring himself to tell her how he felt back then. Oh, for the love of God, y'all were just flirting with... Alright. Well, granted, that was in, like, the other path. But we could have still got to this point by taking that path, but fine. It would be... embarrassing! He took a quick breath to clear his head, tossed the broom up, and then snatched it out of the air. Well, we don't really have time to be walking down memory lane like this, you know? We gotta figure out a way out of this room. Otherwise... Yes. June nodded curtly, then turned and walked away. Junpei turned around and looked at the room. At Snake's body. Chunks of flesh and organs still lay on the floor. The conversation he and June had been having scarcely fit their surroundings. You don't say. But perhaps that was simple human nature. Or, despite such a situation, or perhaps because of it, the mind turned to the farthest thing from death that it could find, even though death was still involved with that, but details. Still, Junpei couldn't help but feel a twinge of guilt at wanting so desperately to live when Snake lay dead before him. He had to live. He wanted a life again. A life with June in it. As he stared at the clumps of blackened flesh, all Junpei could think of was how much he wanted to live. What are you doing with the broom? Looking at it, dipshit. Hey, we got a bucket. It's a tin bucket. Hey, Junpei. Remember back in elementary school when you spilled all of our paint across the whole classroom? They made you clean it up and all they gave you was a sponge and a bucket like this. Hey, come on now. Can we just leave the past in the past? Back down memory lane. If anyone separates the toilets. No, I don't. The toilet paper. Okay, fine. Some toilet paper on this shelf. Alright. It's a water tank for a toilet. I know that. Seen a lot of OC guys trying to hide a piece in something like this. Usually for a 187 or something. Guess they think it's clever. To know what they'll figure out, everybody else thinks it's clever too. Huh? I mean, I know peace, but what's OC? Organized crime. What is that, some kind of police slang? Huh? Probably. Huh? What'd I say? Why's he look all sad now? That's not really important right now, guys. Let's just check it out, alright? Well, he's not wasting any time. Well, that's a random coughing fit I'm gonna have to mute. Is that a screwdriver? Yes, it is. It's a screwdriver. We can unscrew things with this. Was there something we needed to unscrew somewhere? Well, we'll be ready. Toilet's tank, there's nothing in it. Which means we can't flush it. Kinda hard to flush a toilet without water. Just get a bucket. What is that? What do you think this is? It looks like tar. It's kinda sticky. I don't think we can just wipe it off. I doubt just pouring some water on it's gonna help much either. What about hot water? Hot water? If we had some really hot water, like boiling hot, then maybe we could wash it off. And install number 3. Might be something in the tank, you know? Let's open that shit up. Well. A red key card. It's a red card. Probably a key card. Do you remember if you saw a card reader anywhere around here? Okay. There's nothing in the toilet. If there was, that would be gross. I already checked all 3 toilets, you know. Nothing unusual there. What do we have in here? There's a piece of paper tied to this pipe with a wire. Notice, drainage valve operation. Please do not flush the water in these pipes. Doing so may cause the drain to overflow. There is water coming out of the shower head. Let's see if... Shit, that's hot. Really hot. The water must be just about boiling. Scalding hot, boiling hot, scorching hot. We don't use this shower here to fill the bucket with hot water. Hey, 7, could you turn on the shower? I'm gonna put the bucket under the head. Oh, okay. Sure thing. Bucket filled with hot water. And we're gonna go back into here. There's something that looks like tar inside the toilet bowl. If I flush the hot water from the bucket, that should clean it up. So do it. Oh, duh, because of how toilets work, we need to pour it in the tank. Alright, so I just pour the hot water into this tank and... looks like you filled it. Now you should be able to flush it, right? There's probably a handle somewhere on the tank that you can pull. You think so? Serious? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. There's some pipes. And let's flush the hot water. I did not see the lever, but okay. Well, there it goes. Just like a toilet should work. 185 equals... The hot water seemed to do the trick. All the dirt's gone. There's something written in there. That stuff's washed off. Looks like the writing was numbers. See it? 185 equals... What is this? You got me. Just looks like numbers. 185 equals... Well, if we get the digital root of that, 9 plus 5 is 14. 5? Oh. Huh? Looks like there's something down there on that grate. I think it's a card. Yeah, it's the blue card. Can't reach it though. It's too deep. Hey, Junpei, isn't this card kind of like that red card? Yeah, it looks similar. You're talking about the one we found in the toilet, right? Yeah. The red card floated, didn't it? Yeah, it did, so. Then this blue one probably floats too, right? Float. Yeah, it might. Oh, so we're gonna need to, flood it. Okay. It's a thermometer. Can you get it off? No. No, it's screwed onto the wall. The thermometer was screwed onto the wall. That meant that Junpei needed to take the screws out with the screwdriver. While he was so engaged, Santa suddenly spoke. Hey, Junpei! You know why thermometers only go up to 107 degrees Fahrenheit? Or 75 degrees Celsius like this one? Junpei answered without taking his eyes off the screw. No, can't say I ever thought about that. At 107 degrees, the cells in the human body start to die and the organs begin to shut down. Proteins in your cells start to harden. It's like when you hard-boil an egg. Even if you cool it down afterwards, it won't go back to being a raw egg. In other words, it's dead. That's why thermometers don't go past 107. There's no point. Why has Santa brought that up? Junpei wondered. Oh yeah? He continued to work at the screw. It was pretty rare for a fever to get that high. Even viruses and stuff don't usually drive the body temperature up to 107. Of course there are other external things that could. Like what? Well, let's see. Something like getting locked in a sauna. Or getting thrown into an incinerator and burnt to death. Huh. Yeah, I guess that would get a little hotter than 107 degrees Fahrenheit. Junpei gave a short barking laugh. A moment later, the screw fell off. With a small tug, Junpei pulled the thermometer from the wall. Alright, I got it! It's the weirdest edutainment game ever. He looked up and saw Santa glaring at a blank section of the wall. Huh? What's up? Nothing. Forget about it. Santa spun around and walked off, away from Junpei. But as Junpei watched him go, he didn't look angry. He looked very, very sad. Got a thermometer. Don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Oh, you took the thermometer off. It says open at the bottom of the gauge. I wonder what it means. Maybe when it gets that hot, something will open? Wait, you don't really think we're supposed to use the luminol here, do you? Yeah, it does seem kind of weird to use it here. Maybe I should try it just in case. Shit, nothing. Okay, I sprayed the luminol on the wall. What's next? Oh, the light switch. LLR, LRL. LLR, LRL. Oh, no, wait. Those might be the switches. So the top three are LLL and then bottom LRR. So I guess it means left, 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 right, right. Well, I did what it said on the wall. I wonder if it actually did anything. The pipe on the right here must be connected to the drain in the middle of the room. Turn on the water here, it'll probably come up through the drain. Alright, so let's turn on the water. Hey, this drain's acting up. What the hell did you do? I just messed with the valves a little. Nothing big. Yo. Junpei, the card is floating. Looks like the water floated the card up out of the drain. Must be water flowing through the pipe on the right. There's water pouring out of the drain. Blue key card. It's the blue key card. This is, the symbol for Mercury, isn't it? There was an elevator right outside of the big hospital room. I think that same symbol is on the card reader next to it. That's right. I guess that means we're not supposed to use this card in this room. Do you really think so? You don't think maybe we need it for this room and for the elevator? So what if, like with this cipher... What if I wrap the toilet paper around the broom? Oh, so you wrap the toilet paper around the broom, huh? Looks like the symbols line up perfectly. It says 634 plus. Oh, I don't feel like doing math right now, so we're just... No. Where's the calculator? Are you freaking serious? I'm not doing math normally, like fuck that. Okay, fine. To my computer. Calculator. Let me check that again. 634. So 634 plus 185 equals 819. Nothing happens when I press these buttons. Well, it looks like the power's on. I'm wondering what the deal is with those things that say lock up there, though. Oh, the keypad must be locked. So maybe... the drain where we found the key card. Need to mess with that anymore. Yeah, if I can get this hot water on the thermometer, then maybe. Alright, thermometer, let's get this party started. I was gonna, like, put it... Ooh, sorry for hitting the mic there. Put it into the, water in the drain, but I guess this will work, too. Yep. Looks like that's doing the trick. There goes the gauge. And now it's at the open mark. Oh, it opened. What's this? Looks like there's a piece of paper in here. 957. Okay, well, let's add that then. Plus 957. 1776. That was a good year. Okay, well, I think we have to do something else before it's going to let us enter a password. We have to disable those two things and say lock first, you know? Oh, what about with the red key card? Yo, red lights on, Junpei. I'm gonna need the phone to hush it, though. There we go. Good job, Junpei. Both the lights are on now. Now you just need to put in the password. Yeah, because at no point when you add like the numbers together, you're gonna get a 4-digit. Well, I mean, if you add the 857 and the 9 thing, you'll get a 4-digit number, but without the 185, you won't have 1776. Both lights are on. Should be able to enter the password now. So with these E and C keys, E means enter and C means clear, I think. So after you put in the password, hit E. If you screw it up, hit C. Gee, however am I going to enter 4 digits? We've done it. And with that, that's going to be it for today. Next time we see what lies beyond door 3. Well, I mean, we kind of already know because the paths converge back, but we'll see what happens now. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day and see you next time for some more Let's Play. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Goodbye.